Now, as a lover of sport, as a lover of African sport, I think I would say that the year 2022 has been one of the best, especially after the COVID-19 situation. I mean, 2022 started off on a big start. I mean, the year started and we already went into the AFCON tournament, and the competition is just done. The other day we were talking about the BAL competition playoffs that were taking place. And now we are back again to talking about matters football. Welcome to the show. My name is Nation Oano, and we're going to be doing a special edition on the upcoming or the ongoing World Cup qualifiers. And mainly we're going to be talking about the African teams that are going to be playing in the tournament. I want to mention that the games are going to be played tomorrow. And once again, all the way from Ghana is my brother Eugene Ofori Sottie. Eugene, welcome again to this platform. It's always nice talking to you about matters football.
Yeah. It's good to be here. It's good to be back again after the AFCON. Hopefully, you have a good chat.
Yeah, definitely, man. Whenever you show up on the platform, there's always fire conversations going on, man. So the last time we were talking with you, I mean, we were talking at the just immediately after the AFCON tournament. We were talking about the performance of your team, a team that you're very sentimental about. And that last conversation that I was having with you, you expressed a bit of disappointment with the way the whole AFCON tournament with relation to the Ghana national team had been undertaken. And I remember us having that conversation, and towards the end of that, we had hinted about the government, saying that they were going to launch an investigation to find out what was the problem. Maybe you can paint the picture for us. I mean, is there a lot that has come out of that conversation, or as typical of our politicians, they usually just like having knee-jerk reactions to issues that are affecting us?
Well, first of all, I think it was a right initiative, however, from the wrong body. I mean, in Africa, it is because the government spent huge sums of money on the various footballing teams. That's why they've taken particular interest in the welfare of the teams. And so it was because the government had given the FA about $12 million. That was why we were really concerned about what had happened, because the FA officials had given them the promise that once the government had given them the money, the government had done their part. So they were going to win the AFCON. And so once it didn't happen, it was our worst ever AFCON outing. It was just right for the government to probe. Unfortunately, what happened was, it was the view of Parliament that they would love to investigate this before the match and then decide and advise government whether or not Ghana should indeed play the match against Nigeria or not. Unfortunately, they've not been able to finish their investigations before the game. And so with few weeks to the game, I think they've had to shelve it because it will remove the focus from the game and take away the concentration of the players and all other staff of the FA and other authorities close to the national team. And so what I can tell you is that I think the Minister of Youth and Sports, who is also a parliamentarian, has gone before the committee. He has expressed his thoughts. The National Sports Authority, under which the Black Stars and all other sporting disciplines in Ghana are under, have also gone before the committee. So far, I don't think any other body has gone. And because it's too close to the match and they are not yet done with the investigations, it's temporarily on hold till the game is played. Then after, you ask yourself, is it really needed? Because if Ghana qualifies for the World Cup, really, do we need the findings of the committee if we've qualified? However, maybe if we lose, they will need to go back to the committee again and see the way forward. So as of now, it looks like it's a standstill with regard to the committee sitting. We'll wait and see after the match, whatever happens, then we might see the course in the next line of action.
Okay. Are you summoned to go to the parliament? I mean, did that eventually happen? You can hear me. I'm saying there are people who are expected to appear before the parliamentary committee to shed light into or to help that investigation by the government. Were they able to go to parliament, and is there something that came out of it? Is there something that we didn't know that was revealed during their sittings?
No. Unfortunately, I was at one of their sittings. However, it's a meeting behind closed doors. So when the meeting is done, what we are only told is that it's not a manhunt. That's what they tell us. It's not a manhunt. They are only trying to be like a fact-finding commission where they're only going to seek the truth and nothing else. They're just trying to set up the proper structures and set up a paperwork such that in future, Ghana will not have to go through that whole debacle we went through in Cameroon. But mind you, this is not the first time Ghana is opening a commission. After we had a poor World Cup showing in 2014, where it was not necessarily about the football. It was to the point where the Black Stars held the nation to a ransom. They declared that if they were not paid their bonuses, they were not going to play the match. And they held the country to a ransom, and money had to be flown from Ghana to Brazil. So after that, there was a commission of inquiry, and there were findings. There were several interesting findings. Our captain was supposed to be stripped of his armband. He was supposed to be taking through leadership qualities, leadership training skills. There were a lot of recommendations which were very interesting, but I can tell you, we never followed to the letter. So really, for Ghanaians, it looks like this is not going to really work because we've had one before. The recommendations were never followed, and some of these recommendations came back to bite us at the AFCON because we didn't follow it. If we had followed it, some of these problems we encountered in Cameroon we wouldn't have encountered them. So really, this is not the first time it's happening to Ghana. So fingers crossed. We know a lot of the time politicians like to do a lot of paperwork, just put something to paper, but really the implementation is a problem. So for now, it's a standstill in Ghana.
Okay. Speaking of drama, I mean, drama seems to be following Ghana everywhere. This past week, I think like a couple of days back, we were talking about the change in venue between the Ghana versus the Nigeria game. And maybe from over there, you can paint a picture for us. I mean, is it that this field is that bad that football match cannot be played to it, or they're just those aspects that probably CAF was looking into, and the grounds did not meet the ground did not get the merits for that?
For Ghana football, it's always struggled with infrastructure. We have about 5 major stadiums, and sadly, most of them cannot host CAF-regulated matches because of the poor nature of the pitches involved, in fact, and also the infrastructure around the stadium. For the Cape Coast Stadium, it's the problem of the pitch itself. It's been a problem since even a match to South Africa. South Africa complained about the pitch, but most importantly, their complaint was about the penalty. But part of their complaints, they complained about the quality of the pitch. Accra Sports Stadium also, the quality has also been a problem because the problem is that we don't have a lot of pitches. So a lot of the home teams, a lot of the teams are playing. We have the Ghana Premier League, the Division 1, Division 2, Division 3. A lot of these teams, week in, week out, play on that pitch. And maintenance is a problem here. So a lot of the time, our pitches are almost wearing out because a lot of the time, there's a lot of action on it and it's not being properly maintained. So that's the problem. Another problem was this. The government wants to go to the World Cup. It wants the Black Stars to go to the World Cup. And yet the government decided to organize the Independence Day celebrations on 6th March at that same venue. Already the pitch was in poor conditions. And they allowed military vehicles to pass on the pitch. Clearly, look at the ties of the military vehicle. Look how heavy these vehicles are. The military equipment, the army officials, their boots, and all those things. It really made the pitch in very poor shape that it couldn't have been used for the game. And fortunately, Kumasi was just right in time. Kumasi Stadium had been closed for about 2 years for renovations. And just as we couldn't use the Cape Coast Stadium, then the Kumasi Stadium was used. And in the FIFA regulations, we couldn't have used the Kumasi Stadium strictly because we had not submitted the Kumasi Stadium and the time had elapsed. But I think the government has used some of its connections and its protocols and its officials behind the scenes to try and get the Kumasi Stadium used. And all those strings they pulled worked. And so that's how we got the Kumasi Stadium. And for Ghanaians, the Kumasi Stadium is the heart of the country. Anytime the Black Stars are in Kumasi, they have to win. It is a must win. Anytime we play a double header playoff tie, the last time against Egypt, we whooped Egypt 6-1 in Ghana, and we went and lost by 2-1. The last time we also met Congo here in 2017, we whooped Congo by 5-1. So the embodiment of the Black Stars is in Kumasi. That is where when the Ghanaian fans meet and they cheer up the Black Stars in that 40,000 capacity stadium, I mean, whoever is coming up against the Black Stars knows they are in for a good and a tough challenge. So really, the government has put one of its big breaks, and the government in collaboration with the FA did really well and put up a fast track to go to secure the Kumasi Sports Stadium. Otherwise, we would have had to play our match in either Morocco or Benin.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the squad, the selection. I mean, looking at the squad, you shared this with me earlier this week. Looking at that particular squad, not a lot has changed. I could see a little bit of changes here and there. There are players that have been included. And one player, I'll mention him because I'm a national fan. And I think he has shown exemplary performance, ever since the AFCON tournament. That is Thomas Partey. So from where I stand, I think there's a bit of life in your squad. Maybe you can paint the picture for me as a sports journalist. And we also talked about the quality of the players that were selected to go into the AFCON tournament. Are you impressed by the selection this time round?
It is a very difficult question to answer, honestly. The FA could have done better, honestly, they could have done better. However, as you said, it isn't much of a difference, just a few additions. Dennis Odoi from Club Brugge has come into the team. Then Felix Afenajan, there's a Ghanaian teenager in AS Roma who Jose Mourinho unleashed onto the scene this season. He has scored 2 goals. He's a really instrumental player for the Italian Giants, Felix Afenajan. He has been called 2 times to the Black Stars. He rejected those call-outs, and now he feels he's ready to now play for the Black Stars. And so he has joined the team. So far, I think just a few additions. Richard Ofori, our goalkeeper who plays in South Africa, is also back. So maybe a little bit of dynamics has changed now. Wallacott, maybe we'll see him maybe on the bench, and maybe Richard Ofori, who's our experienced goalkeeper, will be back. This morning, there's been a few changes. Jordan Ayew was reported to have COVID-19 cases, has joined the team now. Edmond Addo, who had injury, has left the team back to Sheriff Tiraspol. The problem with Ghanaians is that the FA officials delayed the list and released it only on Monday. And the excuse they gave does not hold. Because if they said we're trying to surprise the Nigerians, that's a fallacy. Because we have a situation where most of the Ghanaians are friends with the Nigerians. We know we are friends. And let me tell you, this match is not just about football. It's about bragging rights. It's about our food. We always agree in Nigeria about everything. It's about food. Who cooks the better jollof? Who has the better musicians? Who dances better? Which country is governed well? I mean, governance well, the Nigerians admit that we have a better system of governance. I think that's the only thing Nigerians admit, that we are better than them. Every other thing, Nigerians argue with us. So this match is a match where the reputations are at stake. Whoever loses will be thrown till maybe 2026 when we have the next World Cup. So really, it isn't much of a difference. We're only angry because most of the Ghanaians are friends with the Nigerians. About 2 weeks ago, a Ghanaian artist, Kidi, they organized a concert in London. And we saw Leicester City's Kelechi Iheanacho at the party with Thomas Partey of Arsenal. Good friends at the party. In fact, Daniel Amate, Ghana's defender, plays his football with Wilfred Ndidi and Kelechi Iheanacho of Nigeria. They are teammates. Osman Bukari of Nantes plays also good friends with Moses Simons. So a lot of the Ghanaians actually play football with the Nigerians. And so they would have known the squad and they would speak with the Nigerian friends. So you cannot hide the squad from the Ghanaians when they are friends with the Nigerians. Really, you cannot hide the squad from the Nigerians when they are teammates with the Nigerian players. Also, it felt like the FA was trying to include their players in the list because at the end of the day, we had our topmost striker, a player with the most goals at the World Cup, Asamajan, Ghana's topmost goal scorer, arguing and chastising the FA for not calling a player, Majid Asmer, who plays for Anderlecht. Jan felt it was nonsense. He stated that in no uncertain terms, nonsense. Later on, he apologized for using the word nonsense, but he stated that he felt the exclusion of Ashimero cannot be justified. And the FA had to come and say he was injured. But if you look at the timelines, you see there might be a fallacy because Ashimero got injured on Monday. And you follow FIFA rules, the call-ups are made or the invitation is sent to the national teams 3 weeks to the clubs, 3 weeks to time. So if indeed the Black Stars sent an invitation to Anderlecht 3 weeks to time and Ashimero got injured on Monday, then that cannot be a reason for not calling him. If you're following the strict timelines, and the people from the players' party tell you that the player never received any invitation whatsoever. And it looks like the player is very distraught. He's unhappy, visibly unhappy because he felt he's in his prime moments, and he felt this was the time he could actually make a break into the Black Stars. And unfortunately, his best is not enough to help us. We have a few injuries. Samuel Osu is out. Kamaldeen Suleiman, who plays for Rennes, is out. Baba Rahman is out. There was a new guy who was supposed to be brought into the team. He plays in the Championship in England. His name is Antoine Semenyo. He plays for Bristol City. Unfortunately, he picked up a last-minute injury and will not play. You know, our skipper, Andre Dedeayu, picked up a red card in the match against Comoros, and so he also not played the match. You know, really, the Nigerians assembled 9 strikers, and Ghana also assembled 9 defenders. They are matching them boot for boot in different departments. Ghana is not into play. You know, Nigeria's strength is in attack. And our strength is also in midfield, where we have our Partey, we have our Kudus, we have our Kofi. So really, our strength is in midfield, whilst their strength is in attack. And maybe let me give you some stats today. For Ghana, our 5 attackers or strikers we are putting for this game have 9 goals in 97 matches combined. All the 5 attackers have scored 9 goals in the combined 97 matches. Whilst Nigeria's Victor Osimhen alone has 15 goals. So it tells you that Nigerian strikers are not joking. Odion Igalo, the experienced player who was brought back for this game, also has 22 goals. Sadiq Umar, who plays in the La Liga 2, also has about 16 goals. So really, even one Nigerian player surpasses all the Ghanaian attackers we have so far. However, we have a good collection of midfielders. And also, if you look at it, one downside for the Nigerians is that with the exception of Zaida Sanusi, all the other Nigerian players who featured actively in the AFCON, since they went back to their class, have not featured again. William Troost-Ekong has not featured for Watford since he left. Kenneth Omori has not featured. Ola Aina has not featured. Only Zaida Sanusi, the left back for the Nigerian team, after the AFCON, has featured for his club side. And goalkeeper Maduko Okoye is still injured. We'll see maybe Francis Uzoho returning to the post after quite a long time. So really, the Ghanaian goalkeepers have a bit of problem because in this season alone, the 4 goalkeepers who we have lined up for this game have considered 125 goals, which is really, really sad. However, if you look at it, the Nigerian goalkeepers who have been selected do not really keep the post in their clubs, so they really have less game time. So it will appear to you that maybe the Ghanaian team is conceding a lot, but if you look at it critically, the Nigerian defense and goalkeeping department are struggling because their players are not having much game time. So if you look at it, the Nigerian strikers have scored really, really much. They have scored a lot of goals, but their defense and their midfield will cause them problems. So if you look at this game, it will tell you that Nigerian people look like favorites. But if you look at the game against Tunisia, Tunisia were not the best side. They just needed to map out a strategy to just keep out Nigeria's best players from the team. And Gabon tells you in his interview that he thinks like Pep Guardiola. And we see Pep Guardiola likes to exploit, likes to think out with tactics. And so what will happen is that Nigeria might be caught off guard because their strengths are always on the attack, on their wings, especially. in Moses Simons and Samuel Chukwueze. And now maybe we are seeing the return of Emmanuel Dennis to the team. And their strength is always on their wings. And so if Ghana is able to map a strategy to sort of block the Nigerians on the wings, then really we can have a chance. Looking at the fact that I told you that the Nigerians are having a lack of game time in their goalkeeping department and in their defense. What I can tell you is that today Jordan Ayew has joined the team. The Black Stars will have their final training schedule this evening. And the first 15 minutes will be open to the media. Then the Otumfuo Osei-Tutu, who is the king of the Ashanti Kingdom, where Kumasi is located, where the Black Stars will play their match, will visit the team. And if you know what that means, it's huge for a king of the Ashanti Kingdom to visit the Black Stars to motivate them. They will really have no excuse to lose in that game. The Nigerian team has arrived this morning around 8 a.m. Ghana time. They are going to visit the stadium. They'll have their final training schedule today. Then the Ghanaian team will have a press conference with the media at about 4 p.m. Ghana time, where our coach Otoado and some few selected players will be at the media stand to engage journalists. I think one thing that will come up will be Otoado's commitment to the Black Stars, because he was not at the AFCON. He was not present. He was in Germany, I think, with Dortmund. So he'll really be quizzed about why he did not make it to the AFCON. After that, the Nigerian team will also have their press conference at 7 p.m. We've seen the Nigerian sports minister make some statements that they are going to beat, the shit out of Ghanaians in Ghana here